In the peaceful Igbo village of Umuoma, the day begins with the crowing of roosters. Children run along dusty paths, women carry baskets of vegetables on their heads, and men gather to discuss the day's work. It's a lively, bustling community where everyone knows everyone else, or so they think. Adaku, a young woman in her late 20s with smooth ebony skin and bright eyes, steps out of her hut one morning frowning. She checks her clothesline and notices something strange. Her favorite red underwear is missing. Who could have taken it? She wonders, her brows furrowed. By midday, the news spreads like wildfire. Women gather at the village well, whispering and giggling. It's not just Adaku, says Mama Ngozi, a stout woman in her 50s. My daughter's clothes are missing too. The whispers turn into a heated discussion. Chibuzo, the village hunter, overhears the commotion. Tall and muscular, with tribal marks on his cheeks, he decides to investigate. This is not normal, he says to himself, gripping his bow tightly. That night, Adaku peeks through her window and spots a shadowy figure creeping near her clothesline. Her heart pounds as she watches the figure snatch another garment and disappear into the darkness. The next morning, Adaku gathers the villagers and recounts what she saw. We must catch this thief, she says firmly. The villagers agree to keep watch that night. Under the cover of darkness, Chibuzo and a few other men patrol the village with lanterns. They move silently, their eyes scanning every corner. Near the forest edge, Chibuzo finds a small sack hidden under some leaves. Inside are several missing garments, including Adaku's red underwear. This isn't just theft, he mutters, his face grim. This is witchcraft. The next day, the sack is presented to the village elders. Elder Ease, a wise man with a white beard, examines the items carefully. This is a serious matter, he declares. We must find the culprit before harm comes to us. Mama Ngozi steps forward, her voice shaking. I've seen Neka, the herbalist, acting strangely near the forest. She always mutters to herself and carries bundles like this. The villagers murmur in agreement, suspicion growing. The villagers gather outside Neka's hut that evening. The herbalist, a frail woman with piercing eyes, steps out, her hands trembling. What do you want from me? She asks, her voice cracking. Elder E steps forward. We found this sack. Do you know anything about it? He asks sternly. Neka glances at the sack, her face pale. I don't know what you're talking about, she replies, but her voice betrays her fear. Despite Neka's denial, the villagers search her hut. Beneath her bed, they find strange items. Animal bones, clay pots filled with herbs, and more missing garments. Gasps fill the air as the villagers step back in horror. Under the weight of the villagers' accusations, Neka collapses to her knees. Yes, I used them, she confesses. But I meant no harm. It was to protect myself. Her words confuse the villagers. Protect yourself from what? Asks Chibuzo, his voice sharp. The elders convene late into the night. Whatever her reasons, Neka has brought fear and distress to our village, Elder Ease declares. She must leave. The villagers agree, their voices rising in unison. Exile her. At dawn, Neka is led to the edge of the village. Carrying only a small bundle, she turns to face the villagers one last time. You will regret this, she warns, her eyes glinting with anger. The villagers remain silent, watching as she disappears into the forest. For weeks, the village enjoys an uneasy calm. Attica's clothesline remains untouched, and life begins to return to normal. But some villagers can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. One night, Chibuzo spots a figure lurking near the forest. He creeps closer, his bow drawn, and catches a strange man holding a bundle of garments. Who are you? Chibuzo demands. The man drops the bundle and runs, but the villagers catch him. The man is brought before the elders. Trembling, he confesses. I was hired by someone in the next village to collect these clothes. I swear, I don't know why. The villagers exchange worried glances. Could this mean Neka wasn't acting alone? Determined to uncover the truth, Chibuzo and Okonkwo travel to the neighboring village of Umuomanta. We must put an end to this, Chibuzo says as they set off at dawn. When Chibuzo and Okonkwo arrive in the neighboring village of Umuomanta, they are greeted by the village chief, an elderly man with sharp eyes named Chief Obi. They explain their mission and Chief Obi listens carefully. This is troubling, Chief Obi says. There have been rumors of a woman matching Neka's description trading in stolen clothes here. Guided by villagers from Umuomanta, Chibuzo and Okonkwo track Neka to a small hut hidden deep in the forest. Smoke rises from the roof, and faint chanting can be heard inside. There she is, whispers Chibuzo, his grip tightening on his bow. From a small crack in the wall, they watch as Neka performs rituals with garments laid around her. She chants in a low voice, throwing powders into a bubbling pot. She's using these clothes for dark magic, Okonkwo whispers, his face grim. Chibuzo and Okonkwo decide to wait for the right moment to act. They quietly set a trap outside the hut, using a rope snare hidden under leaves. When she comes out, we'll catch her, Okonkwo says confidently. At midnight, Neka steps outside, holding a clay pot. As she walks forward, the snare tightens around her feet, and she falls with a scream. Chibuzo and Okonkwo rush in, pinning her to the ground. You can't escape this time, Chibuzo shouts. The next morning, Chibuzo and Okonkwo return to Umuoma with Neka tied up. The villagers cheer as they see her, but their joy is mixed with anger. You betrayed our trust. Mama Ngozi shouts. Dragged before the elders, Neka sneers. You think you've won? She hisses. You cannot stop what has already begun. Elder Ease, calm and stern, responds. Your evil ends here, Neka. The spirits will decide your fate. Priestess Amara is called to perform a powerful ritual to cleanse the village of Neka's dark influence. She chants as she burns Neka's tools, including the stolen garments, in a sacred fire. The spirits will purify this land, she declares. After the ritual, the elders sentence Neka to exile. You will leave Umuoma and never return, Elder Ease declares. Neka, bound and escorted to the forest edge, glares at the villagers. You will remember me, she says before disappearing into the trees. With Neka gone, the village begins to heal. Clotheslines are hung again without fear, and children play freely in the streets. Ataku, standing by her clothesline, smiles as the sun shines brightly overhead. The story of Neka becomes a cautionary tale for generations. Parents remind their children to stay vigilant and to always stand together as a community. We are stronger when we are united, says Elder Ease, addressing the villagers. Let this be a lesson for all of us. Please support us by subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Your support means the world to us.